right. Sorry. I promised I would act like an adult today and we would have a real conversation. I apologize. I promised everybody we would do the video today and I would be an adult. My name is Rudy. You're watching the Cardboard Empire. I have something to admit to you all. I know. MSRP, scalper, game piece army. When you combine all three words together, place them in alphabetical order, remove the vowels, place all the letters backwards, it actually spells Rudy's hair. So people are starting to learn that I have an underground program where I train scalpers. What you'd have to do to pass this program is you have to live on Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell every day for 30 days. And you can only buy things that are overpriced. All right. Final Fantasy. We're talking today. Final Fantasy. So I'm starting to get some interesting pricing on wholesale and everything, and store level and everything. I wanted to at least reveal, and I think the public has some serious misconceptions of what's going on. First, we'll start with the collector boxes. That's what everybody cares about, right? Then we'll go into Commander and Play. Final Fantasy collector boxes are over $300. Store cost, wholesale. In other words, the people who want to pay all the overhead and fees and utilities and insurance and liability and internet and commercial this and that. Yeah. The cost for Final Fantasy collector is over $300. So for those of you all who dropped out in 5th grade to work with me at Taco Bell, that means that your fancy little MSR suggested penis price would be over $600, or $600 plus tax, $630. So for those of you who are obsessed with manufacturer's suggested penis pricing, understand that this entire drama in freaking out about Final Fantasy collectors pre-selling, selling out, and angry that you're seeing them for $650, and as of the filming of this video, Final Fantasy collector boxes, TCG player, as of right now, $714 plus tax. Now, in reality, it's a big number for 12 booster packs. Well, that technically still makes him about, what does that come out to be? About $60, $70 a pack? I mean, it's not $100 a pack like VIP or Double Masters from the past. But I think I think the misconception right now is, like, I'm seeing posts and I literally am getting emails from the public. Rudy, can you please bash and expose this store on TCG Player for listing this? Rudy, I saw this local store, and will you make a video on how they're pre-selling Final Fantasy for $750 in the local store plus tax, or like $89.99 a booster pack for collectors? See, I don't really think there's a problem here. I know that doesn't make me the cool kid. It doesn't fit the narrative of everything, but I'm not seeing a problem. If stores are paying over $300 and your allocation is going to be dog shit, you're not going to have much of it in the first place. Like, my patron offer is going to be like 1 collector box or 2 collector boxes a patron, or I'm going to have to bundle it with, I don't know, a commander deck or a play box or something. I'm not going to get 3, 4, 5,000 collector boxes. Nobody is. And you have a very tight bottleneck. You have record-shattering demand. Everybody knows, unless Final Fantasy turns out to just be a weak set with no serialized cards, no specialty beautiful things, no power level, unless they just kind of just say, hey, look, it's got the Final Fantasy name, everything else is just weak and shit because you're going to give us your money. Unless Wizards takes that route, which I don't think they're going to risk it, which is kind of like the Lord of the Rings thing, where they don't want to risk a collapse or problems. When you're going with that big of an IP and you're paying that big of a licensing fee in the millions of dollars, you're probably going to want to make sure that it's a fucking home run. Because remember, Wizards is paying a multi-million-dollar licensing fee just to use these logos, names, and characters, some of the artists, and I mean, there's a lot of additional expenses. And I know, Rudy, it costs a penny to print a card. That's not where the cost is. The R&D, development, the licensing, the artists, the printing, the logistics, the moving the pallets, the transferring the pallets, the quality control, it's very expensive. Now, of course, once you get all that, fine-tuned, you can pump it out, right? So that's where we want to start this video. I am not seeing this whole boycott, I'm skipping Final Fantasy, it's going to go to shit, it's all bad. I'm not seeing why collector boxes that everybody's upset about, that, well, people are buying like crazy at every Final Fantasy collector box that's below $700, gets wiped off the map. Any store that lists any collector box of FF below 700 is nuked. Website, TCG Player. Like, if I went online right now and listed 20 collector boxes on eBay or TCG Player, by the time you even watch the video and I put it 650, it would be blown out by the time I even get this video uploaded. I'm not doing that, so don't look. But I mean, hey, support other stores, you know? I don't have enough. I told you guys that. I don't have enough Final Fantasy collector boxes to support all the patrons, to anybody. You know, it's just not how the industry is. It's Lord of the Rings, it's Fallout, it's Doctor Who, Warhammer, you know, even Assassin's Creed collectors that everybody made fun of. I mean, heading back to $300 collectors, and those are tiny. So that's where we're at, okay? First, I want to let that out there, that I think everybody is being completely emotional and angry at Wizards of the Coast, and I think it's utter bullshit. If you don't like it, if you think $700 for collector box is just a ripoff, then don't buy it. Just skip the fucking product. You don't need to go on an internet rampage attacking every seller on eBay, TCG Player, and LGS, every YouTuber, every rip and shipper that's selling the pack or the box. Like, if you just don't like it, don't pay for it. But these are wholesale. $325 a box. I think it's like $320 with the credit card fee and shipping and distribution. It's not cheap. These are not normal like $195 collector boxes. If you're a store that spends millions of dollars and pays overhead, expenses, payroll, tacos and gift cards, and like this, these are expensive. Okay, so to have a cost basis of over 300 plus risk, overhead, and commitments, I don't, you know, everybody wants to harp on this MSRP shit. But then when it's not in the favor of the people who are screeching on the internet, suddenly it doesn't, it's disgusting. It doesn't matter. It's dumb. It just shows how Timmy, uneducated, and people are just emotional roller coaster wrecking balls. I just want to say balls. I'm sorry, everybody. So that's it for that. My opinion stays the same that I said a month ago and 2 months ago. Any Final Fantasy collector box under $700 is a decent buy. It's a good cost base, good entry point. I'm even considering, just to give one last comment here. I told the patrons this the other day. I am considering buying some extra Final Fantasy collector boxes from other third-party sources at the $400 or $500 price point. Like, just to get more supply. So yes, if I'm willing to pay almost $500 a box just to get extra on top of my allocations, like, for those of you out there saying, I'm not willing to pay it unless it's $350 for, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just, you know, the market is establishing what it's worth. And the market's telling us this thing is a big deal. And, well, markets can be wrong. We've talked about that. But on these collector boxes in the industry now, where collector boxes are all being recalibrated, I think the $700 price point is probably going to be where we are at release. It could go up higher, another 100, or it could drop 100. I would be surprised. Maybe we get down to the 600s. Maybe we spike to the 800s, 900s. And the only thing that's going to come down to are two things. Spoilers in the set, serialized cards, showcase, all that fun shit. And number two, print run size, allocations. If I requested 5,000 boxes and I end up receiving 300, yeah, I'm going to tell you all right now, those boxes are going to be over $1,000 a collector box because literally the supply is going to be a joke. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case, and I don't expect that to happen. So don't be a Timmy and don't be FOMOing like a dumbass. I think the supply should be the same as like Lord of the Rings. Not Fallout level. I think it should be like Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Rings, I think Lord of the Rings green boxes were around 1,000 collector boxes. I think it's been a couple years. So I expect similar. And also keep in mind, at release, that'll be your one time to buy. If we have any form of dip, even a 10% dip, let's say today's release day, and it's $700 a box, and let's say TCG Player, you get the employees and the dumbasses listing for $650, $620, I would take them. Because wherever we are at release, we may see plus or minus 10% swings, but if the set's good, it's going to run. And if it's Lord of the Rings good, which, we'll see, too soon to know. yeah, it's going to run over $1,000 a box. Now, does it take a month, 3 months, a year, 2 years? I don't know yet. That's for all of us to find out. Okay, Commander decks. I found out these are not $120, $130 Commander decks like I thought they were going to be. And because I was like, why are they like $300 to $400 a Commander deck set for Final Fantasy? Why are they that high? And then I found out that Commander deck pricing is not around $100 for a deck set. Yeah, Wizards have raised the price on that. I've got a range right now of like 170s, even up to 180s and 190s from some distributors, and as low as like 160s. So it is all over the place. So essentially, it's just under 200 when you factor in shipping, credit card fees, and everything is going to be a store cost on Commander decks. Well, store's paying just under 200, and they're 300 on TCG Player before shipping and fees. I don't see a problem. Everything seems pretty normal to me. So again, I'm not sure if it's just a cool thing right now to be angry at Final Fantasy because everything else is doing so damn well and bullish. But again, I don't see why if stores had to reserve months in advance to buy Commander decks for under 200 and they're pre-ordering for 320, 340, 350. I don't even like that's I don't even know if that's your favorite word. I'm sorry, what was the favorite word? Manufacturer what? Suggested retail penis? Like I don't even know if that's considered the MSRP thing that you guys want to, kind of the game piece army wants to be obsessed about. Again, the pricing seems fine. It doesn't feel overpriced to me. I'm struggling to understand why there's this like joint army to boycott Final Fantasy for all the scalpers and ripoffs. I don't get it. Last but not least, before we end the video, play boxes. Play boxes are a weird one. I think that one I got a range on. It looks like play boxes store costs are 120s to 130s, depending on quantity, credit card fees, and everything. If they're online for like 150s, that seems suspiciously cheap. So that tells me maybe it is going to be a standard printed thing, like they said, a little bit higher price, and maybe it will be available for a year or two. So I think play boxes feel the cheapest to me because stores can get a lot of them. The pricing seems really suspiciously cheap. If store cost is like $125 for a box and they're like $145 online, like stores are not even like profitable on selling that by the box. So out of all the stuff, the play boxes seem the absolute underpriced attractive thing. And play boxes online, even if they're $145 plus tax, that's $160 shipped on TCG Player. That seems like really like Bloomberg and Foundation's the core set are like 130s, 140s with tax and shipping. So that's interesting. That also tells me that all the cards and single cards from the play box are really going to keep the pricing of a lot of the rares and mythics, not the fancier versions and showcase and alternate secret stuff. But that tells me a lot of the regular versions are probably going to stay pretty cheap. And I'm thinking that's probably going to make the game piece army pretty happy because they don't want anything to have value. They don't want to build wealth, and they just want to be angry at the world and punch themselves in the face. And they've got one of those mailboxes out front where you open the lid and Chuck Norris' fist goes like that. So the people who are into that kind of thing, that should be very positive for that. Now, I have a feeling, similar to Lord of the Rings and the holiday specials, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of variants and showcase and special treatments that are only going to be available in either like a Commander or a Commander Collector, or of course a Collector booster box. And I think that's where the big money is going to be held. I'm very, very curious to see how many, if, or what the serialized cards are for collectors. And I'm very, very curious to see what's going to happen with the specialty cards and treatments and showcase and special guests and all that shit. That's all I have to say. So conclusion, I'm struggling to understand why so many people are very agitated with the Final Fantasy. I get it's polarizing, universes beyond, love-hate relationship, toxic relationship. I get all that. But the numbers don't seem that bad. I like the collector box is 12 packs, not 4. Yeah, $60, $70 a pack is pretty expensive. But to me, in 2025, when literally like waffle fries or a chicken sandwich is almost $10 kind of thing, I'm not really, it doesn't feel like I told you guys, like the Wildsville Drain set, when they reprint that thing, the whole announcement, in Wild set boxes were $200. Like, to me, I told you guys, like, be careful with that. Like, I never offered that. I never had the set boxes, and now I'm excited to be able to finally get some, and at the last call, to sell to patrons and keep a pallet with you guys. But I was like, that felt suspiciously high for a set that's only like 2 years old. But for a set like this, it's a high demand specialty. Everybody knows about collector boxes. Everybody knows that they go up in value now. The probability is like 95% positive, 5% negative on who's betting on the prices going up. So there's not a secret anymore. This isn't 2023 where every collector box just comes out and, Rudy, I appreciate you selling your heavy bags of collector boxes, but I don't buy them until they tank or they do an Amazon dump from Wizards. Like, that era's gone. And unfortunately, some of you guys that have been around longer, you still have that PTSD. You have those bad memories and price memory of these things that happen. But you gotta readjust as markets change, and that's the difference between the people who, well, survival of the fittest. Great Exodus card. And that's where we're at, folks. That's everything. I just want to share the Final Fantasy situation real quick here, and I wanted you all to be aware that it feels very accurately priced. The play boxes seem severely underpriced to me. The commander decks seem right where they should be. If store cost is almost $200, commander decks in the 300s before shipping, fees, processing, and dealing with idiots and chargebacks and theft and everything in the internet. Like, for stores, that seems pretty in line there. The collector boxes, store costs over $300. Like that. Why aren't people happy? Like, I thought people would be like thrilled. Like, the MSRP army should come out. Oh my God, that's my shirt idea. 2025. I bought this shirt at MSRP. Holy shit, I just thought of that. I bought this shirt at MSRP. That is the best slogan. Oh my God. Sorry. A little things in life. I get excited. We're making tacos, having a Mexican night for a dinner tonight. Super thrilled. Anyways, like, I don't, like, that tells me, like, that's why it's even difficult for me to understand. And it's difficult for me to try to predict how things are going to be, because even when I sit here and do this stuff, I'm over here like, wait, everybody's going to be happy. Final Fantasy collector boxes, if they're only $650, $700, like, the internet's going to be like roaring together in excitement, because that's like MSRP. So Game Piece Army should connect together like Optimus Prime, and they should all be celebrating and like punching each other, right? Like, it just tells me, like, I thought people would be happy that the pricing is with their favorite word. But in this scenario, they're not. And then imagine what's going to happen in 1, 2, 3 years from now when a Final Fantasy collector box is $1,000. What if it goes to $1,500? What if it goes to $2,000 a box? Because again, I want to end this video on one last thing. So there are rumors that Wizards is purposely holding out on some insane, massive Final Fantasy spoilers and news. There are multiple rumors that have swirled around from emails that I did receive to myself about a month or two ago. And I was told that they were going to reveal it to kick off the spoiler season. I think they do this most of the time. And right at the end, there are some last minute, what they call shockers. And if this is true, we're going to find out. Otherwise, Rudy, I just, email myself in the middle of the night and I make everything up. But if this is true, and we do have some insanity coming with, I don't know, serialized cards or these insane reprint slots of high-end modern staples or standard staples or whatever it's going to be, or they bring back anything, you're going to see, and of course, if they're serialized or a special version or special foiling treatment that's only in collector boxes, you will see collector boxes skyrocket to 1,000. That is the risk you're going to take. Now, that's why I tell you all, collector boxes is the one SKU you need to order from multiple stores that you trust. I cannot get people large 24-case master buy. The supply is too thin. I have to spread it out equal to patrons who want to buy it. Whatever the price is, if it's higher or lower, we'll adjust accordingly. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll be following in the next few weeks. But just be aware, if that news turns out to be true and some bombshells drop, you're going to see massive price increases. And for people bitching at Final Fantasy collectors in the 600s or $6.99 or $7.25, for those of you very angry about that, you ain't seen nothing, Buttercup. That's all I got. Hope you all have a beautiful day out there. That's it. Rudy's Penis.